So one day is passed, and as you see that the post slope is very nice, it came very nice. And just like the previous video, before the post slope we have prepared the entire area for the post slope. Similarly, now we are going to prepare this entire area for the tiling, basically both the floor shower tiling as well as the side tiling. And as you see, as I mentioned earlier also in the videos, that we have to fill this gap basically using the fiber tape. That is, this is what I am going to use it, cement board laminated fiber tape. And then there are some holes are there which are the nail holes. So these also we are going to make sure that we are going to cover them using the cement, so that it is going to be everywhere it is cement. There are no holes anywhere. Even there are some gaps are there over here. This also we are going to use it, use the fiber tape or cement tape to cover this area. I will cover that entirely, and once that dries out for say 24 hours, then I am going to use this red guard on the showers walls, entire wall, so that this becomes waterproof. Once that is done, then we are pretty much ready for the shower tiles or shower floor tiles. That and then cement and then the wall tiles, all those goes hand in hand. But my plan is first to prepare this entire shower area for the tiling. And once that is done, I'm going to first cover the I'm going to work on the floor tile, and then I will go for the wall tiles. So let's begin. And for this cement tape, there are two approaches. One is you first paste the cement tape over this line or wherever the joints are, and then on top of that you just put some thin set cement so that it covers it, right? Either or the other option is that first the layer of cement thin set and just put the tape over there. So either option is good. In my case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the little bit of cement and then just going to paste the tape over there. And of course, this particular tape has a stickiness on the side which is going to go on the surface. So as I mentioned, either option is good. The whole idea is that basically fill the gap in these cement board joints and make it waterproof. And this is how it looks. The thin set has been put in the seam or in the joint, and it is filled up with the thin set, and then on top of that the fiber tape. And in addition to that, all the holes where we have attached the so this one has been left out. As you see, this one has been left out, but other one, if you see, all the holes are covered using the thin set. So I'm going to do it for all other joints also. Let me show you one joint, that is this one. And as you see, there is a little bit larger gap over here between this cement board and this cement board. So I'm going to first fill up that one, and then going to put the cement tape in that particular joint. And now I have to do the same thing for all over the joints and the holes and everywhere, right? So let me finish this and let me show you that shortly. Twelve hours are passed, and now I'm going to work on the corners. Basically, as you see, I've already pasted the tape over there around each corner. It is this corner and then this corner, and then on the niche also. So everywhere it is placed, and almost all the holes are fill up with the cement, except few of the areas, like if you see over here, even though the cement is there, but after 12 hours there are some small gaps are there. I'm just going to put little bit of cement over here, and anyway this is going to get covered using the red guard all over the place, right? But take your time, make sure that each and every corner has been covered or taped, and then the cement is placed. So I've just created the mixture of the cement, not much. So this is a slushy one, and I'm going to use the brush to just paste over this entire tape so that it gets covered, and wherever more cement is required, I will just use the this putty knife or whatever the this plate, right, just to put the cement like this. But otherwise over there not much is required, just small amount of cement on the tape, so that it just make it it gets hardened, and then we can just paint on the that tape. Like for example, as you see, as I mentioned, I'm going to use this brush, so I'm just going to put like this, and it is going to just stick this cement and the tape on the cement board very nicely. You can make it a little bit wet also, so that you can paint it as if like you're painting the cement on this tape. So let me do this part, and then I will show you how it looks, and then we are ready for the red guard. And here I'm done with pasting all that tape on the using the cement on the cement board. Everything looks good. So now I have to just wait for another 12 hours or 24 hours before I start painting this cement board using the red guard. Yes, it is not that difficult. It takes some time, but cement and for the red guard I'm going to use again the same thing, brush and roller, and that is to be done only for the walls, and then we are ready for the tiling. Now all the cement boards are ready for waterproofing using the red guard which I showed you earlier. This is what I'm going to use, and I'm going to use this cheap brush just for each corner in the niche and all these joints basically, and rest of the portion I'm going to use the roller to apply the red guard on this one. I heard and I read it about the red guard is basically when you are putting the red guard on the cement board, make sure that it is well ventilated area. So if I've opened the window because I heard that the smell is bad. I have not yet opened the box, but I will tell you that how exactly it smells. Other than that, as such, there is no precaution is required, and of course the layer should not be thick layer. You have to put 2 or 3 layers in the corners, but each layer should be very thin. So first layer, then let it dry out, and then once that is done, then go for the second layer and so on. So let's begin. So it is basically not red, it is pink, but once it dries out it becomes red, and I could feel the smell. This smell is like a rubber smell, so better I use the gloves and the mask. So I'm going to pour this into the this pan, and then use that one to put it on the wall. Smell is nasty. And so the first coat on each seam and nails holes is done. So rest of the part I am going to use the roller just to do it, but I found that it is drying out very quickly. As you see over here, the wet portion is originally it is in that color, but as it dries out, then automatically it gets the color changes to the red. So here it is pink. This is the second coat in the niche, but once it dries out, it is going to get red. So I'm going to finish everywhere. My focus is not on the wall too much, but on the edges and the seams and the joints, that is what my focus is more. And I'm not worried about the floor, because anyway there is a liner is underneath the post slope, so that will cover everything. So rest is basically good. So I let it dry, this entire thing, and then use the red guard on the on all the entire wall, all the cement boards, and finish it up. And that will be the first layer, and then I'll do the same thing for the second coat also. Once that is done, we are ready for the floor tiles. Now the shower is ready for the tiling. Everything is done. Red guard is dried out and everything is ready. So I'm going to start the tiling. First I'm going to cover the tiling on the side from this point onwards, and then I'll work on the floor tile and then cover the area which is at the bottom. I'll show you why I'm going with that route. So to make the shower tiles even on each side, I'm going to put some kind of a wood plank or wood over there, or stud over there, so that the tiles above this wood can the tiles on the wall can rest on that particular wood. This is the standard practice. Now one more thing which I want to mention is that if you are using the red guard, you cannot use the thin set, that is a mastic type 1 or something like that. I have to check. I'll give you the name in the next in few minutes, but that ready-made thin set cannot be used. We have to use the different kind of thin set. I will show you that when we will start the tiling. The reason is that that particular thin set, readily available thin set, that is mastic type 1 thin set, is only or can be used for tiles only if there is no red guard or anything has been used. The cement board should be porous for that particular thin set, whereas it is not means it is not recommended for the cement board on which you have already put the red guard. So more on that later, but yes, it is coming very nicely, and we are almost there and ready to tile. So today I'm going to start installing the tiles 12 by 24 on this wall, and then once all the 3 walls are done, I'm going to install the floor tiles. Just want to show you how the setup is currently looks. So I've marked the tiles. So over here there is first row, second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row, and sixth row, and then the seventh row, and then piece of tile will be at the bottom, right? This is going to be the 8th row. So I don't know at this point of time how much size of the tile is required from the flooring to the edge. So I have already marked this particular line as a reference line all around the shower, and this is above this I'm going to first install the tiles. So as you see, it is labeled, and on this side also I have done the same thing. So first part is going to be installing these tiles, then I'll be gradually going upwards to complete this entire wall. Now one of the thing also I would like to mention that the floor tiles which I'm going to use, these are the tile which I'm going to use. They come in this type of pack like this, and these are I think from the Lowe's 2806838, and these tiles I'm going to use it. This can be installed on the floor in the shower. The problem with this type of tiles is that you're not going to get a edge, right? And this is what I'm going to show you. Even though they come in the irregular pattern, they have some kind of a pattern. Let me show you what exactly I mean by that one. So if I have already opened two tiles pieces, so this one is first and this one is the second. So if you see, I've just placed this first tile piece over here, and you could place it anywhere, and you will see that the second pattern will always cut in such a way that it will interlock like this, right? So I'm going to remove those big pebbles or big tile blocks, so that this will shift all the way towards the edge, and then whatever the gap is over here, which will come out without the pattern, that I will fill up with the small pieces. So let me show you, let me open this tile and show you how the pattern fits from this tile to with the current pattern whatever we have installed. As you see, I have to remove this tile sheet from the box, and as you see, there is some kind of pattern over here which will allow me to fit this one. As you see, they go very nicely, and whatever the additional or open space is there, you could use one tile just to fill up the small pieces over there. Remove that one, but there is no need to remove these tiles from this mesh to match it. So basically they have very good pattern, and I'm going to arrange these tiles, remove whatever the additional pieces over there which are preventing this entire tile set going towards the edge, and then once it is done, then I know that which tile is going to go where. So it's just then matter of putting the thin set and then pressing the tiles against this against that thin set. Now the reason why I am doing this way, that before install, so first I am going to install the tiles on the wall, but this tile I am going to install at the end after the flooring is done. So the flooring will go, assume that this goes all the way to the edge, so the tile which I am going to go over here, that will go something like this. So if I have to show you, assume that this is my wall tile, this wall tile will go like this, and it will, if any water comes, that water will flow on the floor, instead of going like this and then installing the floor later on. So once again, first I am going to install the wall tiles all the way till this point, then floor tiles, and then remaining part is this one. So we'll cover that in details, and as I was mentioning, this is pretty leveled on all the side. So this one is also leveled, and on this side also this is leveled. You don't want to be crazy when adding this stud. I have only 2 screws on this stud, and the only reason why I have 2 screws, because the whole idea is not to have this sturdy, just to have it sturdy, so that whatever the tiles we are going to install on this one using the thin set, it will stay until it gets cured. So that's it, pretty much the preparation of the tiling. So let me finish and cut these pieces, arrange these tiles, and I will show you the entire floor, how it looks with the cut pieces, and then we will go for the installation of the tiles. So as you see, as soon as I've cut those big pieces from this tile, and this tile, they are pretty much now going all the way to the edge of the wall, and the same thing I'm going to do it over here. I'm going to cut place this tile over here and then cut the pieces. Now whatever the small open areas are there, over on this wall and on this wall, we will fill up with the small tile pieces. And this is the small tile pieces which came out from that. I will arrange something like this once everything is in place. So this way all the areas are covered. These are pretty big. This piece is pretty big, otherwise I could have just used over here or anywhere else, but this is how you have to go and arrange all the tiles. Let's see, and as you see that there is definitely not a single area except that area, place, that or nearby that corner. I have to fill up that with one small tile piece, but everywhere it is covered. Our drain is over here, it's hardly visible. So once each and every piece has been finalized over here, I'm going to cut the only portion where the drain is there. So this way we know that how much tile pieces are required and how it looks. Before starting the tiling work, let me show you what tools I'm going to use for the tiling work, and what tools I have, and what are the other options you have available. So since the shower is small and I'm not going to do this job again and again, I've decided to go with this Ryobi 4-inch handle tile saw, and this one is both wet, this can cut the tiles both wet and dry, and that's why I've decided to go for this one. This is around $100 in Home Depot. I'm going to have the review of this particular tile saw, and you can watch that on my channel. And then I also purchased, and of course this tile saw comes with the diamond bit 4-inch saw, but in addition to that, in case if it is required, if additional diamond bit circular saw is required, I've decided to go with I've purchased this one, the King Diamond Tile Pro 4-inch saw. Then to make holes in the tiles, I'm going to use these drill bits, and these are again the carbide tip glass and tile cutting drill bits, which I'm going to use while installing the glass door on this shower. That is another thing. Then and of course this one I purchased from the Harbor Freight. Then I've purchased this very cheap one carbide grate hole saw set from the Harbor Freight. This has different types of drill bits available, and as you see it says that it can cut plastic, plywood, fiberglass, ceramic tiles, cement board, masonry, and porcelain also. It is not written over there, but the description said that it is good for the porcelain tiles also. So I've decided to go with this one. This is under 20 bucks, and this is going to help me cut the porcelain tile when I'm going to install the tile around the plumbing. So that's why I bought this particular one. Then this is the mixer, around $4 mixer, because we are going to mix the thin set and use the thin, not to use the ready-made thin set, but we are going to mix it. So this is another $4 mixer from the Harbor Freight. Then for leveling purpose, I'm going to use this flat tile leveling clips, and these are 1/16 of inch, that is around 1.5 to maintain the gap between two tiles, 1.5 mm. The reason why I am going with this one, because as per the manufacturer recommendation for this particular tile, which is 12 by 24 inches, the tile should have the minimum gap of 1/16 inch, that is 1.5 mm. And to level these tiles, I am going to use this tile leveling wedges. These are again 100 wedges. These are around 10 bucks from the Home Depot. And to fit those wedges, I am going to use this plier. This is from the Lowe's. This is Project Source. Let me show you if it is clear. Yeah, this is the Project Slope. This is C plier, and this is what I am going to use it. And then finally, this is the square notch trowel. This I will be using for on the thin set. So yeah, these are the tools pretty much I'm going to use for installation purpose. And to start with, I'm going to first cut this particular tile, which will go over there in the in L shape. So first tile is like this, then expanded by another tile, and then the piece of the tile. So third tile is going to be cut as per the requirement of the size, and whatever the remaining piece of that tile is going to be, that will go on the on this side. So basically I'll be just going zigzag, so that it will give the proper good brick-like pattern on this particular wall. So yeah, we are almost there. And of course, as you see, I've already cut the pieces and arranged all the floor tiles. I'm going to cover this one using the cardboard, so that it won't get dirty, because the floor tiles I'm going to install at the end, and that's the reason why I'm going to first finish the wall tiles and then go for this floor tile, and then followed by the filling the gap under the wall tiles. To minimize the wastage of the tiles and cut the tiles properly, as I am going to do it all by myself and without any support. So I came up with this idea that basically created few templates of the size of the tile 12 by 24 on the cardboard, and I've cut those tiles. So as you see that this will allow me to cut the tiles in the same fashion, the way they are going to go over the wall. Now this is the first row, then whatever the piece from this first from this tile, that will go over there, and then so on. So this will allow me to cut the tiles properly, prepare them for the installation, and then anywhere the cuts are required, those cuts will be proper cuts. Just I thought that I will share this with you. If you have a helping hand, then one person can measure the tiles, what cuts are required, and the other person can cut it. But in my case it was little different, so my plan is to first cut the tiles as per the requirement, and then all at once start putting it on one wall and the other wall. So just thought of sharing this one, and this way you could use the old cardboard also. And I'm cutting the tiles as I'm progressing towards each row, and as you see that the first row is done, not done in the sense it has been cut as per the requirement. So first row, one second tile, third tile, then the second row, cut piece of the third tile, that, this and this. So it is giving me the right pattern. Now another one will go on top of that one, and it will continue. I will continue. So this is what I'm planning to do, is basically mark these tiles and stack them as per the row, so that I can when I will start installation, I know that which tile is going where. So that is what my plan is. So I will continue with doing this one. More cuts will be required near the niche, whereas the rest of the things are going to be the proper straight cuts. Okay, let me show you what I've done. Few things off camera, and as you see on the floor, there are different types of stacking of tiles are there, and each represents, or each has been named differently. Like for this one, it is row 2 1, row 1 3, row 3 2, and so on. So in a nutshell, all these stackings are for each row on the wall, which I am going to install. So I've already cut the tiles as per the requirement. I know that even though I've cut as per the measurements on the wall, definitely when I will start installing, things may change little bit here and there, but not much major changes. This is going to give me a lot of flexibility, and I can do the work very nicely. So I have shown earlier that this is going to be the row 2, tile number 1, tile number 2, and tile number 3. Then this one is same thing has been done for the row 3. If you see over here, row 3 tile number 1, row 3 tile number 2, and row 3 tile number 3, and so on. Then this is a row 4, and everywhere it has been marked so that I know that for all these 7 rows, which tile piece will go where. And then in addition to that, there are some loose pieces of the tiles which I kept on aside. These are the cut pieces from the tiles which I've cut. Those I'm going to use it on this wall, as well as on the this wall, that is left and right wall. So less wastage of tiles during the process. Now one more thing which I would like to mention is that if you see, there is a edger has been placed over here on this wall, because and this edger is going to, the tiles will go over here from here to here, and they will look nice from the front side, just like this tile, this particular piece. As you see, there is a grouting line between okay, I am out of focus. There is a grouting line between the edger and the tile. So yeah, it is coming nicely, and the same thing has been done on this wall also. Let me show you this wall also, and it is pretty straight. So basically we are all ready for the tiling. So we are at a stage where we are going to mix this floor and volatile mortar with the water. Now this is a 50 lb bags. As per the company, they suggest they said their suggestion is not to mix this mortar in batches, but use the entire 50 lb bags. But since I'm going to use I'm going to work only on one wall, I'm not planning to use the entire 50 lbs bag. I'm going to divide this bag into 25 lbs. Mix that with the water proportionate to the 25 lbs recommended dose. But before that, I'm going to pour this entire mixture or mortar into the pan, mix it well, and then divide it into the two batches of 25 lbs. I will show you that later. Now here is the cheat sheet. As per this cheat sheet, for 50 lbs, that is full bag of large format floor and volatile mortar, you need 26 cups to 30 cups of water. That is 6.75 to 7.5 US quarts. Where that means if I am going to use for 25 lbs, that is half bag, I will be requiring 3.25 to 3.75 quarts of water. That means 13 to 15 cups of water. Now I have this mug which is equivalent to 4 cups, which is exactly 1 quarts. Even the marking also says that if you pour the water till here, it is equal to 1 quarts or the 4 cups. So I have to use approximately 4 mugs of water for my 25 lbs bag or for mixing. I'm going to use this Harbor Freight mixer or mixing rod to mix it properly. And that entire mixing, I'm going to do it in this show you. So it is approximately can handle 4.5 gallons, right? So I hope that I will be able to mix very nicely in this container. Then the next step is going to be mixing. What are the steps? So mixing is approximately 3 minutes, initial mixing. Then you have to wait for 5 minutes. That is a 5 minutes wait. Then again mix it for 1 minute and then start putting your tiles. So that's it pretty much for on this one. So let's open the bag, put that into the pan, mix it well, divide it into two parts, 25 lbs, 2 batches. Then move the 25 lbs from their pan to the container, pour the water, mix it using the rod for 3 minutes, wait for 5 minutes, then again 1 minute mixing, and then start using. So let me do that and show you the process. now I've divided this into two buckets. 25 lbs on this side and 25 lbs on this side. I'm not going to use the this one as of now. Just going to use this 25 lbs by mixing the water. I'll pour now around 15 cups of water on the higher side, that is 1 quarts equal to 4 cups, which is this ratio. Okay, for 25 lbs bag, around 3.75 quarts, that means equivalent to 4 cups of this mug of water into this one. Mix it for 3 minutes and then wait for 5 minutes, and then again mixing for 1 minute. Now I will put the last quarts of water. Before we take break of 5 minutes. So I'm going to put the timer so that I'll not miss the mix wait time of 5 minutes. Let me show you the mixing, and as you see, it is buttery like mix, very nice, consistent mortar is ready to be applied on the tile. Okay, so let's go and now start installing the tiles. Right now I'm just covering the entire surface with a thin layer of mortar. I have not used the mortar the way we are going to use it. Just it is a thin layer, and once this is done, then I will start putting the thick layer. As you see, I'm just putting the layer to cover the first row. And now this will allow me to bond the thing, right? So now I will take the thick layer like this. And try to see the trowel, using trowel, that whether I have the, no, I don't have the proper weight, so I have to put more, and make sure that on the fly you clean the trowel. In the place where you think that the trowel is not giving the grooves, you can put more over there. And now this is what we are looking for. Let's take the first piece now. And I'm going to back butter the first piece from the back side, like this. Just want to make sure that each and every portion is covered. Coverage should be 90%. And this is how the first tile is going to go. And I have some gap. I want to just make sure that you remove and see that whether you are getting the consistency. So I see that there is more buttering is required over here, because I have the uneven surface over there. I'm getting good bond over here, but not over here. So see. Let's check the level. Level is good. And this is how we have done the first tile. Now take the mop and make sure that you clean the surface of the tile. As you progresses. So now I'll go for the next one and we'll see that how it progresses. Yeah, I know it is getting messy, but that's how the tile work is going to be. And as soon as you see that the trowel is not making the correct depth, just add the mortar over there. Like this. And I think my tile is going to be okay, so I have to put here also. Take a second tile. I'll do the back buttering on this one. And while doing the back buttering, I found that this is the easiest way to clean the trowel.
जल्दी जल्दी
Okay guys, let me show the progress which I made so far. So instead of total 8 rows, I was able to finish only 3 rows because it was my first experience and it was taking a little bit of more time. But this is how it looks. Right now the around the seat, whatever is required, that has been done. So only thing is I have to put the big tile over here, that is I will cut this piece at the end and put it over here with the slope towards the shower drain. And these are the things which I have done so far, and it's coming pretty nice. So 3 rows are done. My plan for tomorrow is basically to finish this wall, and hopefully this wall is done. This wall should not take more time because there are no cuts or anything is required. It is basically straightforward tiling on this wall. Same thing with the wall, this wall also, except I have to cut the holes for these pipes. Yeah, so let me show you how the niche is going to come. So I've cut the pieces for the niche. The small piece will go over here, and my plan is to put these shooters like this. So it will go like this, something like this, and the tile will cover this part, so it will look nice. And same thing will be done on this side also. So all the sides will be done in the same fashion. Yes. If the lesson which I learned over here is that when you are planning for the niche, cut the pieces earlier and first finish the niche, because if you finish the niche, then it's easier to cover all these areas pretty quickly. But that's okay. Now as you see that there is a row 4 is going to go. Row 4 first tile is going to go. It is some cut is required because niche is coming over here, and this is the piece which is going to go there. So I have to cut this piece after once the niche is done, and then that tile will go here. Second tile is a complete piece for on the row 2, row 4, and the third is basically straightforward. Then the same thing is going to happen for the fifth row. Even for the fifth row also I have to cut few tiles, but once fifth row is done, then it is a straight installation of the tiles. So that should not take more time, even though I am saying that one, but one step at a time. But yeah, we are getting there. And let me show you how I am managing the corner. So as you see, there is a grout line for this thing, and here also there is a grout line, and it is also coming very nicely. So once it dries out and once these bottom tiles goes, it will look perfect. So from the first time perspective, it's coming very nicely. So guys, let me show you the today's progress, and yes, it is coming nice. So I'm almost done with two walls, this wall, the shower wall and the shower wall, and of course most of the time has been gone in the niche, and I ran out of the mortar, and because of that the last row is pending. I'll finish it tomorrow, so that is not a problem. And tomorrow my plan is to basically work on this wall. Of course it is not going to take more time because the cut pieces are very easy and straightforward, not like there is the only time consuming process was or part was over here, that is in the niche, but other than that everything came nicely. The only challenge which I'm going to face tomorrow is making the hole in the porcelain tile. I have the drill bit which I showed you earlier, but that is going to be a only challenge which I'm going to face tomorrow. Other than that everything is same. I'm not covering each and every portion because tiling is kind of a repetitive process, and each time I have to go and cut the piece of the tile. Like for example, I have this piece which is going to go over here, and this piece is going to go over here. Now I could have cut the small pieces for the entire wall, but always there is a small few millimeters here and there is required, or variation is there always in the pieces. So next piece is going to be full tile over here, and then the small piece over here. Now it could be the same size of this one, or it could be little bit of different, and that's the reason why I'm not going with that route, because anyway it is not going to take more time over here on this wall. Once this is done, then I'm going to remove these support studs and start working on the floor. Of course tomorrow I will also put this barrier also. I've already bought the marble look finish over here. It is from here to here, it is 59 inches, so that I'm going to install tomorrow. The seat is basically is at the end. Before the seat I'm going to work on the floor and the last row of the shower, that is this one. So yeah, we are getting there, and once this is done, then only two things are pending. One is basically the shower system and the door, that is the glass door, and of course the final touch is basically the grouting. Tomorrow I will remove all these clips because those clips are those clips are required over here, and in addition to that it's always advisable to remove the clips after 24 hours or maybe 12 or next day basically. And once the clips are removed, it's good practice to clean the grout line so that nothing is there, so that it is easier for you to grout all these gaps between the tiles. So this is what I've done. So these two tiles are done, and then now I have to install the third row, where I need the circles or circular holes in the tile, so that I can pass the pipe through those holes very nicely. So this is the tile on which I am going to mark the hole. So I already marked the hole. This is for row hole 1, pipe 1, and this is for pipe 2. And what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to use the carbide tool bit to make a small hole over here, that is a dent over here as well as over here. And once that is done, I'm going to use this tool which I purchased from the Harbor Freight to make a hole like this. So hopefully it is going to be straightforward. Let's see how it goes. So as you see, I was able to cut the holes very nicely. It took me a effort to cut these holes over there for passing the pipes, hot water and cold water pipe, but it came out nicely, and it will now go the way it has to. So I will continue with the process of installing the tiles, and I think will be done very quickly with the now, because this was the only part which was kind of difficult to make a hole in the tile. So 24 hours are passed, and I'm just trying to remove all these anchors or clips from the tiles and then clean the grout so that we can put the grout. And removing this clip is very easy. Just take the screwdriver, wiggle it little bit, and you will be able to remove the clip. So it's just like this. So once this is done, and take your time, you don't want to damage the tile. So once this is done, we have to even remove this white color spacer also. Alright, and sometimes this spacer will come very easily by knocking like this. So as you see, it will break, and then you can just remove like this. So you have to do this for all the spacers so that they come out. It's not that difficult. Just make sure that whatever the thing you are using for knocking it, you are not damaging the tile. Like for example, this one. So first remove the clip like this by wiggling it. Once it is done, then just gently knock this clip and it will break apart from the attachment. If not, then you have to just do it a little bit, right? But that is how it has to be done. So let me do all these, remove all these clips and clean up all, remove all these clips and the anchors, and then I'll show you that how it looks. So I've created this template, same from the cardboard, same size of the shower drain, like this. And as you see over here, it is exactly same size. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer all these tile pieces from over there to this template. This will allow me to transfer the tile pieces as is when I'm going to put it on the shower pan. So basically, once we will put the cement, and then one piece at a time I will transfer from the template to the shower drain. So that is what the plan is. So basically I'm going to move all these tiles one at a time to this template and make it ready for transferring it during the floor thing. Now in addition to this, as you see over here, all the clamps or the clips have been removed from the shower, and tomorrow I'm going to plan to first grout all these gaps or tile gaps, and then at the same time start working on the floor. So once the floor is done, then we are pretty much done. It's just matter of filling up that space with the tiles and the reach granite top. That's it. So let me move all these pieces one at a time over here. And the reason why I'm doing this one, because when I was covering these pieces, there are so many loose pieces are there. I don't want to lose their position when I'll be working on the flooring, and that's why I'm moving all these pieces or all these tiles from the existing shower pan to the template. So before start working on the floor, I've decided to grout the existing tile which I've already installed on the 3 walls. and let them settle for a few days, because till that time the floor will be done, and then I have to grout the floor as well as the tiles on the sidings. But I've decided to finish this before that one. So what I'm going to use here for grouting is basically the poly blend plus non-scented grout. So as you see, this is a poly blend non-scented grout. The instruction and the color which I've selected is the bright white. The instructions are pretty much straightforward. The way we mixed the mortar, it is in the similar fashion. This has to be done. Basically, for this entire pack of 10 lb, that is around 4.54 kgs, we have to use the 1.4 liter of water, cold water. I'm not going to mix entire bag, so I've divided this into two parts, and this is half of the grout. So I'll be using half of the water of 1.4 liter. The instruction says that mix it up to 3 minutes, then wait for 5 minutes, then again remix, and then using the float at 45-degree angle, fill up this grout into the gaps. Then wait for 10-20 minutes, and using the wet mop, just remove that one, and then you can wait for 2 hours before you clean the haze from the tiles using the clean cloth. So pretty much straightforward standard process. So let's begin. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the water, half of 1.4 liter, into this one, mix it for 3 minutes, then wait for 5 minutes, remix it, and then using my float trowel, I will fill up the gaps in this grout. So let me mix it and show you the mixture, how it looks, and then I will show you the float trowel also, which I am going to use it. And so 3 minutes mixing is done. So I'll wait for, now we have to wait for 5 minutes before remixing it. 5 minutes wait is over. I'm going to remix it, and then we can start using this grout to fill up the gap. Okay, the remixing is done, and let me show you which float I'm using. So this is the rubber float which I'm going to use it. So basically you have to just take the grout on the rubber float, and then just start putting at 45-degree angle to fill up the gap. And as you see, as I'm doing it, it is nicely filling up the gap between the tiles. And then you have to just repeat the process and complete this, and once it is done, we have to wait for 20 minutes before we start cleaning up. So this is how the grout looks when you look closely, and almost like 10 minutes are passed. Another after another 20 minutes, after another 10 minutes, that means total 20 minutes, I am going to lightly scrub this grout using the sponge, wet sponge. You have to make sure that water is not going to be too much on the sponge. Just you have to wipe it and remove the excess grout from the tiles. For that you have to keep the clean water bucket ready, and the sponge which I am going to use is a regular sponge. This is a regular sponge which I am going to use it. So I am going to just mop this excess grout from the tiles, and clean this surface. Once that is done, then we have to wait for another 2 hours before we start cleaning the tiles. So once that is done, then we are done with this one, and then we have to just let it settle down. So that is how it is. Not bad, but only it is a little bit of messy work. Once I'm done with this one, tomorrow my first plan is going to be working on the floor tile. And once this is done, tomorrow my plan is to work on the floor tile. And as you see, the grouting is done now, and the first cleaning is also done. So I'm just going to now wipe this out using the plain cloth after 2 hours, so that the haze goes away. And then tomorrow I will work on the floor.